Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This is Vulcan speaking. Alright, jumping right into it. We have a lot to get into and to cover, so let's jump right ahead and start with the mini Dow Jones futures contract. Coming into today, we're going to talk about what we see going forward as far as price projections and all that good stuff. Alright. As far as chart patterns, a white body occurred because prices on yesterday's closed higher than they opened, and during the past 10 bars there have been 7 white up candles and 3 black down candles for a net of 4 white up candles. During the past 50 bars there have been 25 white up candles and 25 black down candles. So you can see that, technically speaking, we're flat if you were just to go on the last 50 days of trading. Okay, an on neckline occurred as of yesterday's close. This is a bearish pattern where prices should move lower when the white candlesticks, i.e. the most recent low, is penetrated. Now, a spinning top also occurred, and a spinning top is a candle with a small real body. Spinning tops identify a session in which there is little price action is defined by the difference between the open and the close. During a rally or near new highs, a spinning top can be a sign that prices are losing momentum and the bulls may be in trouble. Looking at the swing VIX, the market pulse is positive since it's trading above its signal line. The pulse scan crossed below the swing VIX one period ago, thus leaving us a trend channel that is down, which means we have a negative swing VIX, which means that negative momentum has entered the market, so we expect sideways to lower prices within the next 3 to 5 days. A buy or sell signal is generated when the swing VIX moves out of an overbought or oversold area, and the last signal was an overbought sell one period ago. Moving right along here, the swing VIX crossed its moving average since that has happened. The mini Dow Jones futures contract price has increased 0.05% and has ranged from a high of 10,493.57 to a low of 10,227.24. Looking at the trend now, currently the market trend is bearish, but it's in a retracement. So we're still in a down market, but it's trying to retrace, or has been retracing, off of its swing lows. Now, today's trend momentum reading for mini Dow Jones futures is mildly bullish because the close is currently above its long-term period moving average, but it's below its intermediate term and short-term moving averages. As far as trend strength, as mentioned earlier, we're bearish consolidation. As far as volatility, the mini Dow Jones futures closed below the upper band by 36%. Now, taking a look into Pandora's little black box, we have no long or short entries to speak of. What we do have is today's intraday price projections that we've been watching. We have resistance pegged at 10,336.36 and support at 10,258.92. We're going to watch for possible trend reversal breakout longs with a close above 10,594.16, and we'll watch for possible explosive continuation sell-off with a close today below 97.57.54. Okay? So if we go parabolic and close below 97.57.54 today, then that is going to pave the way for a super leg down. So we'll be watching for that. Okay, taking a look now at the eMini S&P 500 futures contract. A black body occurred yesterday's close because prices closed lower than they opened. During the past 10 bars, there have been 6 white up candles and 3 black down candles for a net of 3 white up candles. During the past 50 bars, there have been 24 white up candles and 25 black down candles for a net of 1 black down candle. As for the swing VIX, looking at the swing index, the market pulse is positive since it's trading above its signal line. The pulse scan crossed below the swing VIX 1 period ago. However, the trend channel is down. This means that negative momentum has begun to enter the market, so we expect sideways to lower prices within the next 3 to 5 days. The last signal was an overbought sell 1 period ago, and since the swing VIX crossed its moving average, the eMini S&P 500 futures contract's price has decreased 1.96%, and it's ranged from a high of 1118.50 to a low of 1085.31. Now, looking at the market trend, the trend is in a bearish retracement. Today's trend momentum reading for the eMini S&P 500 futures contract is mildly bullish. The close is above its long-term period moving average, but below its intermediate and short-term period moving average. Looking at trend strength, we're in a bearish consolidation. As far as volatility, the futures contract closed below the upper band by 48.6%. Taking a look at Pandora's little black box, there are no recommended entry points today. However, there is a warning of a possible inside day or another bearish retracement. So even though this bar here, as you can see, where we are experiencing some downward momentum, that doesn't mean it can't slingshot back and close positive on the day. So when we get these warning indicators that go off, when these bells go off, we have to take a look at it and watch it. As far as intraday price projections, resistance is at 1096.41, support at 1088.53. We will watch for possible trend reversal breakout to the upside if we close above 1131.23. We watch for possible explosive continuation sell-off with a close today below 1042.17. Now, because we do key off of the actual with the futures contracts, let me just say, like with the Dow, the S&P, and the NASDAQ, what we do is we key off of the cash. So when we quote to you prices, it's off the cash. So if you're gonna trade the futures, you're gonna want to use the tradables and the quotes for that. So in other words, if you were going to go, let's say right now, the cash, the SPX right now is at 1078.87. If you want to go long right here now, with a limit order, you would go and place it in the futures front month contract. You would go 1078.75, or maybe round it to 1079. Does that make sense to you guys? So those of you who trade futures, that's how you do it. You take the numbers that I give you and you round it off to the tradable, to your ticks. And because the S&P 500 eMini moves in quarters, it's 0, 25, 50, and 75. And the eMini NASDAQ is 0 and 50. So 0.00, 0.50. And on the mini Dow, you can actually go in and you can actually trade the actual ticks, like 10,201, 10,202, like that. There's no half intervals like the eMini S&P and the eMini NASDAQ. Just FYI for those of you who don't know that. Okay, the eMini NASDAQ 100, as you can see, the last 4 bars are a little bit more defined. For those of you who are new to the Vulcan report, you've heard me say when it comes to the stock market, the big three, the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ 100. What you do is you look at the NASDAQ 100 because it usually is the main leader in the markets as far as trend and direction. All right. It used to be the Dow Industrials, but because we're no longer in an industrial age, we're now in the technological age, or the information age. The NASDAQ 100 is the smart money. And I've done videos in the past explaining that in further detail. We won't go into that now. Let's finish with the Vulcan report. Okay, the eMini NASDAQ 100 futures contract. A black body occurred on yesterday's close because prices closed